What's up, guys? So, day 6, episode 6. And, I guess the day didn't start out well again. It's a Monday. And, so, I went to the office. And while I'm in the office, it seems like everybody is on the same page as myself for the most part, which is, why are we having these discipline issues in the school? And I got my answer. And it was, unfortunately, what I had thought. What I had thought was that because of a certain lawsuit that a lot of counties around the United States are being sued by the NAACP or the ACLU for racism. And the racism is that African American students and Hispanic students are being given more referrals and suspensions than white students. Now, in a school like ours, our numbers are going to be skewed because we have like 5 white students. And sometimes they break the rules, but it's definitely a numbers game where they are not, of course, going to get as many referrals as our minority students. But the lawsuit is really about, and I'm going to admit this, I'm not going to be, the old, you don't know what the lawsuit's really about. What the lawsuit is really about is that it's when a white student breaks the rules, they're more lenient on them than a black student. Now, like I said, it doesn't affect our school. So our school is kind of skewed, but I understand where the lawsuit might be coming from, especially with the embedded de facto kind of racism that we're faced with, unfortunately. We're trying to beat it, but it's there. In the case of my school, we used to be able to give 10 days for fighting. Now, that would be enough to penalize you not just from going to school, but it would penalize you academically. And so there was a movement to get away from suspensions that would lower your grade, because it used to be if you missed 10 days, you automatically had a whole lower grade in your classes. Then we switched to 5 unexcused absences. And by the way, when you're suspended, you can still go to school. So you're not even absent, but you're definitely not getting the same content and lessons that you would get if you were there. Now, I will admit that our students who are suspended could probably give a shit about school for the most part. So, yeah, that's always there. But, well, that was crazy. Why would a motorcycle do that? You're stupid. Crossing over 2 lanes. People already hit you. They aim for you, and you're going to pull a move like that. That's kind of dumb, bro. But whatever. So, we tend to, now our county pushes, and I can guarantee, because it was admitted to me today, that they're not allowed to suspend kids without crazy good reasons. So, my Thursday event where a student pretty much threatened me, and I, being the much more level-headed, logical teacher that I am, not pursuing the escalation that could have taken place had I chose. The student got 3 days OSS. I'm sorry, 1. The said student got 3 days OSS for something different. Not threatening a teacher. He uploaded a video to YouTube or whatever website these kids are using. So he got less suspension for physically threatening a teacher than he did for uploading a video on the internet. That's fucking preposterous. But I went to the leader of the school, who's in charge of our discipline people. I didn't go to the person who did it because I already gone to him and explained to him what this student was doing to me. And clearly, 1 day of ISS only made it worse for the two of us in the same room. Had the kid been suspended in the first place, when I asked that his behavior be fixed in my room, maybe things would be different, but alas, we can't be racist. So that one day of ISS did nothing but piss the kid off. And then, of course, the day that I chose to write him up again because of the fact that he still didn't have any respect for my rules. And then he threatens me. He gets one day of OSS. What could be next? Is it him hitting me? Is it worst case scenario, he's as pissed at me as he is at life, and therefore has no problem taking a route in his life that requires bringing a weapon to school? And, is he already somewhat emotionally unbalanced that it may escalate and I may be harmed, and or my retaliation against him harms him? And in essence, he gets arrested and I pursue him as an adult because he's done enough to prove to me that he thinks he's one. That's where this can go now, folks. 2 steps. When if he had been suspended for 5 days or more for the first things that he has done, would it have been enough to avoid the situation where he even gave me a hard time about his cell phone? This is the problem where we have in schools today. The new education, Devois education secretary has been accused of not liking public schools. If things continue, some people have accused them of putting public schools up for failure. Now, is that possible? I'm not going to deny it. Do I feel that public schools are already being set up for failure? Possibly. I am nervous because public school teachers are paid rather more in general than private school teachers. And I have not met too many private school teachers to base our, what I would call, professionalism and our skill against each other. So I can't go further than that in that. Are you pretty much selling out to get better kids? Is it possible? It is possible. It is possible. And maybe I have a friend that I'm maybe going fishing with on Monday. I'm staying home the Monday after the Super Bowl for multiple reasons. One of which, because I'm throwing a party, and my wife and I are throwing a housewarming party. Double party. And 2, I might need an extra day. This school is really bothering me right now. And to have my athletic director, who's in charge of the school, end of discipline, which is awkward. It's always great to have someone in charge of athletics to deal with our athletes who get in trouble. It's very interesting. Who explained to me that it's just the way things are. We can't suspend kids. Our schools will become unsafe places, and not just for the teachers. I brought up the fact that fellow students are being harmed academically by having me waste time dealing with these students. It's a catch-22 because the good students are being, in essence, ignored. In order to get attention in a high school, you have to do something crazy or be disobedient. And this is probably why nowadays we have crazy outbursts and, unfortunately, to the nth degree, things that happen in our schools. I am scared. I know we did our nervous count the other day. I'm a little nervous for the future of our public schools. And the budgets do not allow for the transition that I would expect and need, which is upping the pay for a teacher. And like I said, guys, I'm not saying that just because I think I deserve more money. I get paid well. I'm not going to deny that. I'm doing fine. It's just that if you're doing this from an economic standpoint, a capitalist fiscal standpoint, police officers, teachers, and firemen should be some of the highest paid people in the service industry, in the municipal industry. But because we spend money on tanks and shit, which sometimes are useful. We do not have enough money to fully pay the budgets of our education system.